So this is electric football for rich and for poor, for Stu and for Steve. We're here to tell you the scores.
Yay!
Anyway, Jets at Bills. And for Rex Ryan, the Super Bowl comes a little early because his team's not making the playoffs.
That's right.
And they're not winning this game either. Fitzmagic, as he is now being called, has thrown 13 touchdowns and 1 interception in their last, 5 or 6 games? Jets D looked fearsome. I kept hearing about this, Sons of Anarchy, but I hadn't really seen them. But last week, they looked pretty fearsome. And the Bills are packing, and they're wondering if Sexy Rexy was a one-night stand.
Yeah, I wonder.
So I'm taking the Jets.
Yeah, a lot of motivation here for Rex Ryan, though, because this is his former team. He's home. But the Jets are on a 5-game win streak, and Fitz's last drive against the Patriots was a beauty. Jets control their destiny, and I'm going to ride the hot team. I'm taking the Jets.
And while we're at this, what do you think about the coin toss decision? What Belichick's, give him the ball? Personally, I hate it. If you put yourself in a position where any mistake on your defense loses you the game, a kickoff return, a slip by a cornerback.
The bomb to Yukonuba or whatever his name is.
I personally hate it, but I hear a lot of people arguing, you've got the great kicker, or Brady was getting beat up, that it wasn't a bad move. Stu?
I can't argue the idea that, all we need to do is stop them once and we have Tom Brady. I get that. But you're fighting for the home field advantage throughout the playoffs against a team that is trying to beat you just to stay in the playoffs. And I think you take the ball first. My decision would have been get the ball.
I think you take the ball
Give
first,
Tom
too.
the ball.
I understand the arguments, but I give Tom Brady the ball, and I say, we have a chance to finish this right now. Go do it.
There's no saying he couldn't have done that to the Jets, what the Jets did to them.
Exactly.
You're right. Okay.
Pats at Dolphins, and I was arguing with my friend down in Florida, Steve. How you doing, Steve? He was saying the Dolphins are the most dysfunctional team, not only in football, but in sports. And I was arguing, I think the Browns and the 49ers can give you a run for the money. But that the Dolphins are in the conversation is scary.
No kidding. We've been in the conversation for 20 years.
I like what the Pats can do in this game. Gronk and Brady alone. And I think the Dolphins have checked out on Dan Campbell, who's in a tough spot because they're firing coaches left and right.
Yeah.
And, nobody's given him, unless I've missed it, nobody's given him the old, we're bringing you back next year.
No,
so,
in fact, the word is they've already got somebody in mind that they want to offer the job to, so let's go with that.
Right. So who's listening and getting motivated on the Miami sideline when Dan Campbell's in their face barking? So I have to go Patriots in this one.
Yeah, the Patriots, too, for me. You know what? Cincinnati lost the game last night, which gave the Patriots the ability, again, to get home field advantage here. If they lose and Denver wins, I think Denver gets the tiebreaker. So the Patriots aren't going to wait for Denver to gift it to them. They're going to kill Miami. Ugh.
There you go.
Ugh.
The old Miami Dolphin killing.
I'm wearing Larry Little, though, just for that little bit of old 72 magic.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're backwards because of our software, but we've got the backwards 666 going again, which one of our viewers pointed out. Saints at Falcons, and the Falcons sure ruined Cam's perfect season.
No kidding.
They have the potential to ruin Drew's going away party. If there's a question of Drew Brees' future at this point. I like what the Falcons have done late in the season. I like that their wide receivers were clearly motivated to win the battle for the ball last week, and I think that the Falcons are going to win in a shootout. I don't think they shouldn't even put the defenses out there. They should just
they
should just see
7-on-7.
which offense scores more efficiently. Maybe.
Yeah.
This one's going to be a track meet.
Yeah, I think the Falcons won their most meaningful game of the season by beating the Panthers, and the Saints come in with the second worst defense in the entire league. So I'll take the Falcons here to end their season on a high note. That's the only reason.
There you go. Lions at Bears, and both teams come off semi-impressive victories. But I like the Lions' consistency late in the season more than the Bears. I like the Lions' team speed and their ability to score quickly. I'm taking the Lions in this one.
Well, it's a battle for the bottom. Whoever loses this is the last place team in the division. That's all that's at stake here. So I'm going to go with the outdoor Bears in Chi-Town because it's going to be cold and chilly, and Lions like the heat of Africa.
Eagles at Giants. Both teams just laid down and blew their chances last week. Like, the Redskins couldn't be happier, huh? Neither team really put up a fight. The Eagles a little bit more so than the Giants. It was fun watching my Vikings take apart the Giants last week.
Yeah, it was interesting.
But this may be it for Tom Coughlin, a Hall of Fame level coach, and at home, I think with Beckham back, how much that affected their performance and their lack of fire last week, Odell being out, is a good question.
Shouldn't be one guy making that difference.
Yeah, but he's your MVP on that team by far.
No doubt.
So, I like the Giants in this one just based on home field and a little more motivation for their coach.
Yeah, I don't expect either coach to be in the building on Monday for either of these teams.
Really?
Yeah.
I expect Kelly to still be around.
I know. The teams boast the 30th and 30th worst defense in the league in that order. Philly 30th, Giants last. Let's see if the G-men can send Coughlin out with a big goal. Thank you, Tom.
Okay, Washington at the Cowboys. And amazingly enough, Kirk Cousins is becoming a real live NFL quarterback with his own little trademark catchphrase.
Yeah.
He's really resurrected his career. I did not expect him to have as good a season as he has had. Kellen Moore is trying to become a pro quarterback.
Yeah.
Has a long way to go. Cowboys massively disappointed season. There's really, this is a question of motivation, and Washington wants to keep it going into the playoffs. I'm taking Washington.
Interesting. I see. I mean, this would have been a very hotly contested game, and the schedule maker said, "Ooh, Redskins Cowboys last game of the year." But the Skins have the 4th seed in the playoffs. They can't change that. So how motivated are they going to really be to go out there and maybe pull a starter here and there if it gets to the point where they don't care? So I'm going to take Dallas to win against second stringers.
If you look at a lot of games this week, like Stuart just pointed out, the schedule makers had it right based on the forecast. I mean, Jets, Bills could have been for the division.
Right.
Chargers, Broncos could have been.
Dolphins, Patriots.
Seahawks, Cardinals was brilliant. Vikes, Packers,
Seahawks, Cardinals. That one they got right.
Yeah. So it was a well done job. It just hasn't played out that way,
Right.
and it's impossible for them to do that. Speaking of
impossible games,
of an impossible game to enjoy, Titans at Colts, just a complete and utter mess with quarterbacks on both sides being, gone for the year. Multiple quarterbacks in this game. Hard to call. I like the Colts' ability to score compared to the Titans. The Titans are putting up 3s and 6s an awful lot. Baseball scores, not football scores. Yeah. So I am taking the Colts to grind out a 9-3 win.
Yeah, I mean, the Colts still have a long shot to get into the playoffs, and it's long, but at least they'll be motivated. And if they got in, they could even get luck back for the playoffs. Mariotta's out. Titans are done. Let's go, Colts.
Ravens at Bengals. And somebody please put a GPS on Ryan Mallett so I know where he is this week, because I can't keep track of him, and I'm trying.
Catch me if you can.
Crucial fumble snap may have cost the Bengals a playoff bye, but the Ravens beating the Steelers, gives them the division. I actually like some of the stuff I saw out of A.J. McCarron. I think the Bengals actually win that game. If A.J. Green doesn't, stop running mid-route on that deep ball.
Yeah.
What the hell was that? And then he took, not only did he stop running, but then when he tried to speed back up to catch it, he took sort of a bad angle on it.
Yeah, he was about a foot away from it to the left.
Yeah, if he didn't just slow up, they're the heroes of that game, and McCarron's being carried off instead of, losing on a fumbled snap. Having said all that, I do like what McCarron's doing, and I think it's going to be enough to beat a Ravens team that got up for their game last week, but I don't know that they'll be up for this one.
Yeah, I mean, they played spoiler to Pittsburgh last week, and I think they're going to try to do the same here. It's a divisional game. It's not going to hurt Cincinnati too much to lose, especially if the Patriots crush Miami like I expect them to do. The Browns, the Bengals are the better team here. And I can't see them losing to this disappointing Ravens team after losing to Denver. So let's go with AJ and don't call me Ray J.
And
Bengals.
And Tyler. Like every tight end they have is evidently named Tyler. And by the way, seeing AJ Hawk in a Bengals jersey.
Ooh, could you imagine?
What do you mean imagine? He was playing for him.
Oh, he was?
Yeah. It's one of those last year of your career you're on the weird team.
Oh, I didn't have the sound on.
There we go. Steelers at Browns. And Johnny Football's throwing the ball all over the place, including to offensive linemen. He's running for his life. But, they're going up against a Steelers team that let their destiny slip out of their own hands, but are clearly going to come in crush a Browns team, and then let the Cards. They'll take care of business this week, and they'll let the Cards fall where they may. Um, Johnny Football starting to show a little bit of spark, a little bit of life. Do you think that he can survive playing the game the way he played last week for a long term? Running 10, 12 times with that slight frame?
I see him like Vince Young and all those guys that scramble too much. Mike Vick. There's only so much of a beating you can take when you're running around like that. It's not college. These guys hit harder. They're faster. And if he's, if he's at the bar every night screwing up anyway, how much is his body really going to be able to heal? But I can't see a guy like him surviving a 16-week season regularly.
Right. So a Cam and even a Kaepernick or Vince Young, much bigger guys. Mike Vick is the better comparison, but he's slower than Vick, less elusive than Vick. And I just don't see how he's going to be. If the Browns do ever turn it around, I don't see how Manziel's going to be healthy enough when they do 3-4 years down the road.
No, I think they're looking for a quarterback anyway.
Yeah, I think they need to.
Yeah.
Jags at Texans, and Brandon Whedon's probably happier in this part of Houston this part of Texas that he was in Dallas.
Yeah.
He's actually on a playoff-bound team. If Hoyer can't come back from the concussion protocol, Whedon may be starting a playoff game.
Yeah.
So it's another guy that you need to probably slap a GPS on to keep track of. But a guy who's clearly in a much better situation. Jags disappointed me last week, and I don't see them going up against a playoff-bound Texans and winning this one. One of the interesting things that I watch is the sacks race, and J.J. Watt needs a couple to catch up to Khalil Mack after Mack had that 5. I think Mack's up by 1 or 1.5. I'd have to check that, but I would like to see Watt get a couple of sacks and see how that race plays out. I'm taking the Texans in this one.
Yeah, me too. The Texans can stay in the playoffs with a win, and I see them doing this pretty easily by bruising the hell out of the Jags. Jags had a promising season. They were a little up and down, but there's a lot of potential for that team. It's just not this year, but I think next year Bortles has a year under his belt. They get a couple more guys that can really become difference makers, and I would change my pick, but I'm taking Houston right now.
Moving in the right direction, the Jags, and a good draft, and maybe 1 or 2 key off-season pickups, and they could be dangerous.
Yep.
Another team I feel that way about, Raiders at the Chiefs, but the Chiefs are on a 9-game win?
Didn't know.
Look at the Chiefs' schedule, and it is ungodly easy in the second half and ungodly hard in the first half. So you can kind of understand how they had this schizophrenic season. It may not be so much that the Chiefs got better as the season went on, just that their schedule got so much easier.
But still, you got to win 9 in a row. That's no easy feat in this game. I mean, let's face it. The Panthers should have won that game, and yet they didn't. Falcons are not that good a team. So to say that I haven't been a Chiefs believer, and I couldn't believe it until I was watching the game last night that they were 1-5, and now they're 10-5. Surprising, but you're right. It's a weaker schedule, but still,
it's a schizophrenic schedule.
You got to win 9 in a row, and they're a hot team right now. They're one of the hotter teams in the game. I was saying that about Pittsburgh last week. I'm not saying it now. I'm kind of pushing that on the Chiefs, who will likely lose now.
Credit where credit is due, but I think we're both picking the Chiefs.
We are taking the Chiefs.
The Chiefs do seem to just be squeaking by, though. They're not blowing people out. They're just
didn't they crush somebody 2 weeks ago or so? Something like that.
It seems most of their wins are just enough to get it done.
It's the old days of football, man, when you used to win by 3.
Chargers at Broncos, and if anyone has had a worse season than Peyton Manning, I'd like him to raise his hand. First you're being outplayed right now by Brock Osweiler, and he really is. For the last few games, if you compare Osweiler to Peyton Manning, who would have thought you'd ever say this?
No.
But Osweiler is outplaying him, and now there's this weird Al Jazeera HGH documentary that
we're trusting that TV.
I mean, not exactly known for their sports coverage, but see, Peyton's head is so big that if it did grow from human growth hormone, nobody would notice.
Yeah.
Not that I don't have a noggin. I mean,
We can only show YouTubes on you, but movies on his.
But, what a horrible season for him. And his team is capable of going to the freaking Super Bowl. And if he was playing at the same level that he played at 2 years ago, if he could beat the injury bug, he would have that one last chance to ride off into the sunset. I would actually like to see him get it. I am a big fan of Peyton Manning, the player. I'm a big fan of Peyton Manning, the man. I think he's handled himself spectacularly throughout this. He's shown humility, humor. You don't hear him going, I should be out there, blah, blah, blah.
Because he shouldn't.
No.
I can't get out there.
Big fan of them. I like the Broncos here to win. The Chargers, Eric Weddle is now not even bothering to go in at halftime. He's watching his daughter. What did she perform? She performed something. But clearly that relationship has ended.
Yeah.
And that
Waddle, but they don't go in the locker room.
That locker room is a mess. So I am taking the Broncos to win easily, and Stewart is spitting up on himself.
And look, the Broncos get the last 2 games of the season home. I mean, Goodell.
There we go.
Here
Conspiracy
it is.
theory.
Goodell can fillet Manning and Elway all season long, as he usually does. Sorry, Chargers. The NFL is against you on this one. Broncos.
I'm looking around for his tinfoil hat, but I can't find it. Okay, what do we got? Bucs at Panthers. I wanted to do crazy Panthers lose 2 in a row pick, but I just don't see it here.
No.
I think the Bucs have to be looking across the field at Cam and going, that could be Jameis in a couple of years.
Absolutely.
If we do this right, that could be Jameis. That could be us. And
could be a thrilling game. I mean, if the Bucs play well, this could be a thrilling game. 2 of the more younger, exciting QBs in the game. 2 of the starters that are actually still on their team.
You're still standing, which makes it a better game.
Yeah.
But I do like the Panthers to win this one, to try and get a little momentum back, I guess. Not that they lost much in that loss.
And I didn't want to mention this, but did you see Luke Kuechly actually didn't make a tackle on Julio Jones? Luke Kuechly missed a tackle. He's in on every play. How did he miss?
I'm surprised Thomas Davis didn't come over and make it for him then. No, big fan of their defense. Big. I mean, I've been underplaying the Panthers because I don't think they're an all-time great team when they were undefeated. But I think they have great balance on both sides of the ball. I think Cam is the MVP this year, irregardless of what happens in the last game. And I think they're a very dangerous team going into the playoffs. I just don't think they're the best team going into the playoffs.
They're not, and also they're suspect in the passing game, and that's what the Falcons exploited. And I've been saying that for a long time. The only weakness is the passing game for Carolina, and if you can exploit that, you can win the game, and that's what they did.
Passing defense or offense? Which do you mean here?
Their passing defense. You can pass against the Carolina defense.
Okay. Which if they end up going against, let's see, one of the prolific Arizona, or even dare I say it, the Steelers. Tough matchup for them if they have to go against those kind of wide receivers.
Yeah.
Okay. Good analysis, Stu.
All righty. Back to you, Steve.
Seahawks at the Cardinals. It isn't as glamorous a game we were talking before about.
Wait. Bird fight!
I didn't even realize it was a bird fight.
It's a bird fight. You're welcome.
Thank you. We were talking before about how the schedule makers try and get it, and this would have been beautiful, had it lined up for the division and all that. It doesn't. Seattle can make a statement here, coming off a loss against the Rams. Can they travel on the road? Can they take on the hottest team in the NFL right now and take them down? My answer is no. The Carson Palmer is still standing, and David Johnson has emerged as a workhorse back. Team speed, depth, relatively healthy. I know about the Honey Badger, but relatively healthy. I like the Cardinals in this one.
Yeah, this is a better game than any wild card weekend game is going to produce for us. So watch this game if you're going to watch any this weekend. The Cardinals are showing that they are the best team in the league right now. And even without Tyrion from Game of Thrones, Tyrion Matthew.
Lannister, I believe it is.
Tyrion Lannister. Well, Tyrion Matthew, or whatever his name is, Matai, is out still. But the Cardinals are a much better team. Team speed, fumbles, interceptions, touchdowns, defense. They're hitting on all cylinders. I like their offense better than I like Seattle's defense, so I'm taking the Cardinals.
Rams at 49ers, and the Rams may have had a disappointing season, especially the way I was playing them up early in the year, but the 49ers have had an absolutely disastrous one. They're already packed and gone, so the Rams win this one, doesn't matter where it's played.
Yeah, Michael Bennett thinks Gurley isn't so great. Really? Are you an idiot? Shut up. Anyway, glad to be living on the East Coast because we won't have to watch this game.
Vikes at Packers, and 2 weeks in a row on
Rams.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah, no, I thought that was clear.
I don't know.
Vikes at Packers, 2 weeks in a row on national TV. I'm in heaven. But I can't shake, having watched the first game against the Packers, how they just manhandle us. Eddie Lacy was Eddie Lacy of old in that game. We did not stand up against the run. We did not get a big pass rush on Rodgers. And I watched Matt Khalil, who is just horrible. Just absolutely he had a good rookie season, and then I don't know if it's injuries and he's never fully gotten healthy, but he's getting steamrolled by everyone on the Giants. He's not holding his blocks. He's not moving well. It's just hard to watch. So I can't shake the fact that the Packers have our number, and I am picking the Pack to win this one.
Well, either the Vikings show up and win this and become the leaders of the North like they want to be.
Like they should have in their home game against the Packers when we could have controlled the damn division.
Or they wither away against a very suspect Packer team. The Packers showed, the Cardinals show what the Packers are. They're Aaron Rodgers. That's it. And the Cardinals ate them alive. It's a small line in Vegas on this, which surprised me. I thought the Packers would clearly be like a 5 or 6 point favorite. I think it's 2.5 or 3. So let's root for the Steve Browns of this world, because you, Steve Brown, of all the Steve Browns in the world, you're the Stevie Browniest.
Oh, I'm the Stevie.
Take the Vikings!
I'm the Stevie Browniest. That's why I'm a pessimist, and I assume we're going to lose, and bad things will happen. Anyway.
Happy New Year!
Thank you very much for watching us this year. We really appreciate all the comments. We really appreciate all the little thumbs up and even the little thumbs down, because it shows somebody watching.
Exactly. And if you go to Facebook, you go to the NFL YouTube Prognosticators, you can see our videos there, along with all the other good guys and gals that waste 30 minutes of their week doing this for you.
Anyway, thanks. Leave a comment, and we'll hopefully see you in the playoffs.
Peace.